Hello and welcome to the Idaho Transportation Department's Office of Civil Rights. Today we're going to be working on civil rights compliance training. While it may seem daunting at first, the road to compliance with Title VI of the 1964 Civil Rights Act is actually quite easy to do. A compliant Title VI program consists of four primary elements. 1. Pre-award documentation. 2. The Limited English Proficiency Plan. 3. The Environmental Justice Plan, and 4. The ADA or Americans with Disabilities Act Transition Plan. Today we will discuss the Limited English Proficiency Plan, or LEP plan, and its four-factor analysis. Simply put, a four-factor analysis identifies impacts and resources for people in your jurisdiction who may have limited English proficiency or who don't speak English well. Imagine for a moment living in an area and not having the ability to communicate and conduct business with your public agency. You may be deaf or hard of hearing and need access to emergency services. You could be an immigrant farm worker and need to pay a utility bill. You could be a foreign student who wants to borrow books from the local library. The four-factor analysis looks at four main factors when providing translation services. The analysis looks at the size of the populations that are likely to utilize your agency's services, how often those services are needed, determines the importance of those services, and identifies resources for people with limited English proficiency. The four-factor analysis helps your local agency identify areas where your agency may benefit from improved communication. It also shows local residents that you are committed to providing the best services possible. Let's look at Factor 1, population size. Your agency should be aware of the demographics of the customers in your service area. You should know the race and common languages of non-English speaking customers. This includes customers who may be deaf and might need to communicate using American Sign Language. We've compiled almost all of the data and best practices you'll need to create a four-factor analysis for your service area. To review this data, you'll need to access the ITD Dropbox account and download the current demographics for your service area. In this case, it may be best to use the 2014 ACS LEP spreadsheet. You'll notice from the spreadsheet that LEP demographic information is broken down by county. County-level data is most commonly used. However, if LEP populations are smaller or larger in your community, you may consider adding additional data to your write-up. This will do a better job illustrating the true size of your LEP population, and it will help you determine what services are needed. If the size of your primary LEP group is larger than 5%, you'll need to translate all vital documents into the language of the largest LEP population. The 2014 ACS LEP spreadsheet highlights LEP groups larger than 5% in green. If you're unsure what a vital document is, you can search for the term vital documents on lep.gov. Now let's look at Factor 2, frequency of contact. Factor 2 shows how often non-English speakers or LEP customers come into contact with your agency. Most agencies will create a simple survey for staff members to complete. Let's go back to the compiled list of references and open the staff survey PDF and review it. This survey serves multiple purposes. First, it determines how often LEP customers come into contact with your agency's staff. Second, it identifies staff members and other resources who may be willing to provide translation services. And third, it raises awareness of your non-discrimination policy statement. This helps to meet your annual training obligation with your staff. Once you have administered the survey to your staff, you then know the frequency of contact. Now let's look at Factor 3, the importance of services provided. Does your agency provide 911 or emergency services? Do you manage parks and other commonly used public spaces? Do you collect payments for utilities like water, sewer, and trash services? Factor 3 weighs the importance of the services provided to your customers. You should summarize these services in this section and identify any barriers that may exist. It should be brief. For example, you could write, Kootenai County provides court services to several LEP populations. To address any language barriers, the county provides free access to a translation interpretation service. Finally, let's look at Factor 4, resources. Does your agency have a list of employees who are available for translation services? Do you subscribe to a paid translation service? Does your frontline staff use tools like Google Translate to provide services to customers? Be creative as you identify resources. High school Spanish instructors may be a good source. You may want to consider identifying bilingual university students who would be willing to provide translation services in exchange for internship credit. Once you've compiled this list, add it to your LEP plan. And there you have it. You've just completed your LEP plan's 4-factor analysis. The staff of the Idaho Transportation Department's Office of Civil Rights is eager to answer any questions you may have about Title VI of the 1964 Civil Rights Act.